Hey guys, hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to come back to the nonviolent communication book. Let me just do the sound check to make sure, as always, it's working. Sound check, sound check. Probably should be. Yeah, perfect. Nice. It's such a beautiful day outside. Everything need to go outside and get outside of this house because I'm about to go crazy, cuckoo for Cocoa Puff sitting inside all day. So I might take one of these books and go out and sit somewhere and relax. I need to do my to-do list, get us a little bit of work done, just like outside of here. Coming back to myself and everything. So, in any case, coming back to now, nonviolent communication. We're going to be looking at chapter 7. It's called Receiving Empathically. I've done quite a few readings today, so probably will not go so far today. Yeah, I think I will go until that section. So it's about 2.5 pages. Receiving empathically. The last 4 chapters described the 4 components of NVC, nonviolent communication. The 2 parts, what we are observing, feeling, and needing, and what we would like to request to enrich our lives. Now we turn from self-expression to apply these same 4 components to hearing what others are observing, feeling, needing, and requesting. We refer to this part of communication process as receiving empathically. Presence. Don't just do something, stand there. I love that quote. Empathy is a respectful understanding of what others are experiencing. The Chinese philosopher Chuang-Tzu stated true empathy requires listening with the whole being. The hearing that is only in the ears is one thing. The hearing of the understanding is another. But the hearing of the spirit is not limited to any faculty, to the ear or to the mind. Hence, it demands the emptiness of all faculties. And when the faculties are empty, then the whole being listens. So taking away the preconceived notions, the projections, the expectations, all of those things, we had to move away from that. Then there is a direct grasp of what is right before you and that can never be heard with the ear or understood with the mind. Empathy with others occurs only when we have successfully shed all preconceived ideas and judgments about them. Austrian-born Israeli philosopher Martin Buber describes the quality of presence that life demands of us. In spite of all similarities every living situation has, like a newborn child, a new face that has never been seen before and will never come again. If it demands of your reaction, it demands of you a reaction that cannot be prepared beforehand. It demands nothing of what is past. It demands presence, responsibility. It demands you. So being here in the present moment with someone as they're experiencing without all of those other things coming up. Continuing with the reading, the presence that empathy requires is not easy to maintain. The capacity to give one's attention to a sufferer is a very, very rare and difficult thing to do. It is almost a miracle. It is a miracle, he asserts, French philosopher Simone Weil. Nearly all those who think they have the capacity do not possess it. So that's very funny. I think we underestimate how difficult it is, and especially in times like today when people are under more stress, they have more pressure. They're not even getting their basic need met, so it becomes difficult to do that and to show up for others in the appropriate way. Continuing with the reading. Where did I talk excuse me, guys. Instead of offering empathy, we tend to instead give advice or reassurance and to explain our position or feeling. Empathy, on the other hand, requires us to focus full attention on the other person's message. We give to others the time and space they need to express themselves fully and to feel understood. There is a Buddhist saying that aptly describes this ability. Don't just do something, stand there. I love that. Don't just do something, stand there. I didn't know that was a Buddhist expression, though. That's nice to know. Continuing with the reading, it is often frustrating for someone needing empathy to have us assume that they want reassurance or fix-it advice. I received a lesson from my daughter that taught me to check whether advice or reassurance is wanted before offering any. She was looking in the mirror one day and said, I'm as ugly as a pig. You're the most gorgeous creature God ever put on the face of the earth, I declared. She shot me a look of exasperation and exclaimed, "Oh, Daddy," and slammed the door as she left the room. I later found out that she wanted some empathy instead of my ill-timed reassurance. I could have asked, "Are you feeling disappointed with your appearance today?" My friend Holly Humphrey identified some common behaviors that prevent us from being sufficiently present to connect empathetically with others. The following are some examples. The first, advising. I think you should, or how come you didn't? Next, one upping. That's nothing. Wait till you hear what happened to me. The next, educating. This could turn into a very positive experience for you. The next is controlling. It wasn't your fault. You did the best you could. Consoling. It wasn't your fault. You did the best you could. The next is storytelling. That reminds me of a time. The next one is shutting down. Cheer up. Don't feel so bad. The next one is sympathizing. Oh, you poor thing. The next is interrogating. When did this begin? The next is explaining. I would have called, but, and the last is correcting. That's not how it happened. In his book, When Bad Things Happen to Good People, Rabbi Harold Kushner describes how painful it was for him when his son was dying to hear the words people offered him that were intended to make him feel better. Even more painful was his recognition that for 20 years, he had been saying the same things to other people in similar situations. So it's like your own personal experience will definitely wake you up to that. Believing we have to fix situations and make others feel better can prevent us from being present. Those of us in the role of counselor or psychotherapist are particularly susceptible to this one. Once, when I was working with a 23-year-old mental health professional, I asked them to write a word for word how he would respond to a client saying, I'm feeling very depressed. I just don't see any reason to go on. I collected the answers they had written down and announced, I'm now going to read out aloud what each one of you wrote. Imagine yourself in the role of the person who expresses the feeling of depression and raise your hand after each statement you hear that gives you a sense that you've been understood. Hands were raised, only 3 out of 23 responses. The questions went out of hands hands were raised to only 3 of the 23 responses. Questions such as when did this begin contributed to the most frequent response. They gave the appearance that the professional is obtaining information necessary to diagnose and then treat the problem. In fact, such intellectual understanding of a problem blocks the kind of presence that empathy requires. When we are thinking about a person's words and listening to how they connect with our theories, we are looking at people. We are not with them. I'm guilty of that, to be honest. The key ingredient for empathy is presence. We are wholly present with the other party and what they are experiencing. This quality of presence distinguishes empathy from either mental understanding or sympathy. While we may choose at times to sympathize with others by feeling their feelings, it is helpful to be aware that during the moments we are offering sympathy, that we're not empathizing. It's such a tricky topic with so many different lines and boundaries you can easily cross from one to the other. And if you grow up with this empathic nature, because of how you were raised, lack of boundaries and so forth, it becomes difficult to know how to execute this in the practice. Like some of these things, like the list of things that he suggested, not to do, for example, there were like a few on the other page as well, being, things that you don't want to do, that list, like the one upping, trying to get this straight on the screen, one upping, educating, advising, all of the things that are not empathy, but are like some of the most common responses that people will go to in the beginning. This is really tricky. So don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself some patience, some grace. Just raise the awareness, because it's something that I have definitely fallen short on. You know how they say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Like I definitely understand this. And so, yeah, I'm trying to learn how to integrate this more into my daily living, into my more natural responses, so that it's not something that I have to think so much about. And it's something that's getting better with time for sure. And the more you practice, the more you spend time showing up for people and learning how to do that correctly, the better you'll get with it over time. And also for yourself, I think that might be the best place to begin practicing. Put the coins back because you don't need that anymore. That's the best place to begin practicing, because once you can access that for yourself, then you're much more able to offer it for others. Even in that quote, he said he was in shock and horror, after his son or daughter died. I forget which one. All of the things people were saying to him were the things that he had said to other people who were in those situations over the past years. And he was shocked, at how offensive or hurtful it was. So he wasn't even aware that he was doing that. And I really think that I've done that in some cases also. Again, not out of bad intentions, but just because, I did not grow up with that modeling. And so something I'm trying to figure out on my own. So, sorry to all the people who I was trying to show empathy for, but ended up, pissing you off or insulting you, or, I really didn't mean that. I've always just, tried to be someone who just helping other people, being kind, present, supportive to other people. So that's the reading for today for nonviolent communication. I will see you guys again soon. Take care, and I hope you guys are having an excellent day. I'm going to go out because it's like so nice outside, so I'm going to try to take a walk. I'll see you guys soon. Cheers.